think a lot of people drink to have a good time. I drank to just shove down every single emotion that I was going through. My biggest priority in probably my identity was being a mom.
Yeah.
So taking my identity away from me, stripping me of my identity, talk about really going into isolation.
Like a black hole.
No matter what the hell that I went through, like, it's made me a better mom.
Yeah.
It's made me a better person, but especially a better mom. Addiction can take down anybody. Yeah. Literally anybody. All walks of life and everything. But I think, like, never expected addiction to be on my journey in life, ever. But, like, I'm beyond grateful that I went through it because it taught me to live.
If you could speak to directly to a mother that was in the same place that you were, if you could speak to her right now, what would you say?
Do not give up.
Yeah.
It might look like there's no end in sight and that you have nothing to live for, but you do. Take a chance.
Ready to roll?
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams, and welcome to the Relentless Pursuit podcast. What we do on this podcast is bringing guests from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, to share their journey and everything along the way that led them to where they're at today. Real conversations, raw emotion, and the kind of human connection that can't be faked. We're here to make an impact, and that is what we do. So if that is for you, like, subscribe, all those wonderful things. And if that is not for you, I don't know what your problem is, but it's time to jump on board today. Thank you. But without further ado, I would love to introduce today's guest, Miss Kristen Martinez.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to have you.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, guys, Kristen got introduced to me by a past guest not too long ago, Brooke. Worth checking out. Powerful story. Yes, she recommended you. You've got a story of rediscovery, recovery, and just like learning how to redefine life on your own terms.
Me and Brooke go way back.
So how do y'all go back? When did y'all meet?
So I think she told the story on the podcast, actually. We were in a meeting, and I remember seeing her, and when you go to certain meetings, you tend to look around the room, see all the people that are there, some older, some you're like, she looks like somebody I would like. And she was sitting a couple seats. I don't know if she was sitting next to me or a couple seats away from me, but there was a gentleman speaking, and he said doo-doo. And we both looked at each other like, he just said doo-doo. It was something so stupid. Like, it was that moment of, do we just become best friends?
Like he's talking and he says, it just, however he phrased his sentence, it said doo-doo in it.
Yeah. You do, and we're like, it was just, and yeah, I swear we were friends since then.
It's like one of those things you laugh at in elementary school.
Oh, for sure.
But it's still funny.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was just a very serious moment. He was having a very serious moment.
Yeah.
We were not.
That's funny.
But we've been good friends since then. And
nice.
So she's one of those friends where you don't talk. Sometimes you don't talk for a while, and then you pick up, and it's like you've talked every day, kind of thing. So.
Those friends are great, though.
Oh yeah.
This season of my life is so crazy, and like those friends are like the best.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I haven't talked to you in like a month, but
there's no pressure.
Right. Correct.
Some people just like expect you to be there like you always were at one point, and you realize like if you're evolving and you got things going on, it's just not going to be the case.
Yeah. And I think we go through some of those times where it's like maybe you're a little quieter. I know Brooke is like that sometimes, where it's like, when I hear from her for a week, I'll check in. Same with me. I actually messaged her on Friday and was like, I'm so sorry I haven't talked to you this week. Like, I'd started a new job in my company, and like it was off to the races all like every day. It was just, by the time the afternoon came and I got home, I'm like, please nobody talk to me.
Yeah. Trust me, I know how that
nobody talk to me today.
That's okay though. I spend a lot of having deep conversations. I have a lot of that with people, and I love just zoning in and doing solo stuff. I really do, because it's just, you kind of just want to turn it off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that said, speaking of your new job and all that stuff. So what does life look like for you today? Career wise and just things you got going on, your growth, all that.
It's great. I I just started a new job within the company. I work for Nissan.
Okay.
In Franklin, and I've been there about 11 years. And just a kind of opportunity came for this job that I'm in now. And it's kind of a totally different job than I've done in the company, but I'm like, I love that about it. I get to work with my brother a little bit, which is, I think, awesome. So that part of my life is good. And if you would have, I feel like if I would have looked back like 8-10 years ago, I would like hate change, right? Like I need to just stay set in a job that I'm in, and like I don't want change. But like, I mean, it's a big thing to take a change. When I was in the job that I was in, I really knew that job, so it was a big change there. Yeah. My life is great though. I have two teenage daughters, 13, Gracie, and my oldest, Georgia, is 17 and a senior in high school.
Nice.
And my relationship, I was telling you about it earlier. It's
healthy.
A very healthy relationship. Never thought I would get one of those.
And here you are.
And here I am. So yeah, I'm like very close with especially my mom and stepdad and brother and sister-in-law. They're all close. So
Heck yeah. And you're in recovery too.
Absolutely.
So.
Recovery's good. Like we talked about earlier, like it's just I weathered some storms this year. Like this year has been one of the it's been equally fantastic, and it's been also equally like a lot's gone on. But
I'm interested to hear about it.
Yeah, it is. But that's where I am today. You know what I mean? Like I got through it, and I feel like I'm in a good place.
Hell yeah.
A great place.
I'd love to hear it. Well, you're here. That's a pretty cool place to be.
It is. And love the little studio and everything.
Thank you. I put a lot of intention into this space, so I'm loving it too. And it's an honor to have guests like you, and I'm stoked to dive into your story. I want to hear about this past year already, but we'll lead up to that. We'll get up to that. Now, take us back. Take us back to the early days of Kristen. Where do you hail from? Talk about childhood a little bit, some influences there, and we'll just take the journey.
Yeah, so I was born in New York, Rochester, New York, upstate. So
Great North.
Nowhere near New York City. People ask me, "Oh, you're born in New York?" Like nowhere near that. Didn't go there until I was like 30.
Really?
So, yeah, actually got a chance to go there this year for a day. Both upstate New York and New York City.
I hear it's beautiful upstate.
It is beautiful. It's I don't know how long you've been around here, but like the old Spring Hill, old Franklin, where it used to be a lot of farmland. That's kind of how it is. There's
cool
little towns, and it's a beautiful place. I still have a lot of family up there. So I was born there. We came to Tennessee when I was about 5. I don't know if you remember Saturn, the car company.
Yeah.
We came down for my dad's job to Tennessee, and I've pretty much lived here I've lived here the rest of my life. So most of my life I've been in Tennessee. Kind of grew up with, for most of my life into adult life, had, mom and dad in the house, and brother. Brother's little less than 2 years older than me. We hated each other growing up. Yeah. I'm kidding. We didn't. We did a little bit, but I swear when he went to college, we became really good friends.
It's similar. My sister and I, we butted heads so hard growing up. Other. Yeah, my sister's 15, 16 months younger than I am.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's about the same.
Yeah.
There's must be that age
so
age
much
difference
tension.
That really,
oh my God.
We were he reminds me of some of the names I called him growing up, and vice versa. So, but like, great brother. Absolutely couldn't ask for a better brother. My mom is, like I told you earlier, she's my biggest cheerleader, and she's also my biggest worrier.
Yeah. My mom's the same.
Absolutely. And my dad too. Like my dad lives in Michigan now. And so my dad worked for he just retired from the company. So, not Saturn because that's been long gone, but GM.
Okay.
And like, I felt like I had a normal childhood. I thought I did. And I don't feel like I really, dove into, was my childhood really normal until I got into recovery and kind of really looked at, what that looked like kind of thing. Probably made my mom cry a few times by being honest with her and stuff of, I don't think I can look at other people's childhoods that say it and like go, mine really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. But I realized that, I'm definitely a people pleaser. You know how we talk about those family dynamics and like who does what and like the leader and the people pleaser and the healer. I feel like I was a little bit of both. My parents told me that they were going through a divorce when I was actually out of college. I believe I was actually pregnant with my first daughter.
Okay.
I just graduated college. And like that, you know, people say like they want to wait till the kids get older to get a divorce. I was like, that doesn't make a difference. Like it really, for somebody who had just gotten married, was pregnant with their first child, like it definitely put something in my head. Like I thought these things were supposed to last, you know, like they were married for 26 years. We just went to a wedding anniversary. And so, that definitely changed some thought in my head. Like why I thought you guys were happy. And like, I didn't understand until I got older and went through some of those same things myself. And like,
you were able to reflect maybe on your childhood and see
and
things
go like,
differently.
Wow. You know, so like, I told you, like ruffle some feathers at Thanksgiving.
That's
but like,
okay.
I absolutely love my dad. My dad is my dad. I love him. I love my mom, but the older I got, the more I realized those family dynamics and like, I think my mom had to go through a lot. Like, I think that, because me as a now adult female, like I realized how much that my dad's, him as a character, him as how he was, like it formed a lot of my relationship, my relationships, like my love relationships. Like, you know, I don't know if you ever heard the saying where like you pick the man you pick is a lot like your dad. And like, I feel like I picked different forms of him throughout the years. Yeah. And what I mean by that is like, I had to realize that like when I got into recovery that I realized that I had tried to, what's the word just went around my head, try to get my dad's acceptance. Like I always was looking for acceptance, always looking for acceptance. And like I guess one of the examples, and I'll give you an example in a story because I'm like, it is a story that I tell in, I feel like every time I tell my story, like in like rehabilitation centers and stuff, like this is in my story kind of thing, is I played golf when I was in high school and actually went on to get a scholarship and play in college. And like, I was really hard on myself, but also realized my dad was really hard on me. Like it was like really hard on me. And that was hard. That was really, like if I played bad, it was, I didn't feel like I won't say I felt like I was going to get yelled at, but, I feel like I let him down. Like constantly would let him down.
Something you said made me get to thinking, right? You know, you choose someone that's like your father or whatever, right? Like that's a thing. But a lot of times, you know, just having a lot of conversations like this, you know, looking for acceptance, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for traits of your father and other people. Like maybe you didn't want someone, maybe you didn't find someone just like your father, but that you didn't realize it till later on, but that acceptance thing was such a big factor. You didn't even realize that you were looking for acceptance in other relationships.
Agree.
Yeah. So like those little things that actually can be unknowingly detrimental.
Yeah.
In relationships.
Agree. And, I think I definitely tried to find acceptance. But, I think one of the things though too, where I'd said my mom is kind of, I think she put up with a lot of stuff is you know how we now as adults, and for even adults don't do it, but like having boundaries with people, or like what you'll put up with, like what are those green flags, red flags, even yellow flags of like, okay, this person did this to me, like it should be done, right? It should be done. And so kind of that's what I mean by, probably what I mean by picking people like my dad. Like there are things that I put up with, I guess you could say, and then just was like, it wasn't too bad. You know what I mean? Like that'll be okay, you know?
Yeah.
And, but yes, absolutely. Like, yes, I probably was looking for acceptance. And that's kind of where the people pleaser comes out in me, which is, I realized in recovery that is not an attribute.
Yeah, no.
That is not something to be like, oh, look, I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah, finding that acceptance
thing
within yourself is the most important thing.
Yeah. And so one of the stories I tell is, I was playing at a golf tournament in Florida, and was not playing well at all. And it was me and my mom and my dad. I was in high school. Wasn't playing well. It was the last day. And I was like, man, I'm basically get my ass chewed the whole way home. But how
you're
bad
ready
I
for
played.
it. Yeah.
I was in the 17th hole, hit the ball, get a hole in one. And it was great, right? You would think, right? And all that went through my mind at the time was like, we're not going to get yelled at the whole way home. Like, that's all that went through my mind. It was not like, yeah, I got a hole in one.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember recently my mom was like, I think I still have that plaque, like, in the ball frame. And I was like, I don't want it. Like, I don't. It was one of those core memories. Memories where, that I was like, instead of being super excited, I was like, thank God we're not going to get yelled at.
Isn't that crazy?
Home. Yeah. And I'm not trying to make it out to sound like my dad's a monster. Like I said, I love my dad. It was just that piece that, and I think that probably goes back to some of the things that he probably experienced in his childhood.
Well, from what you say, like your dad was intentional in the best way he could be, right? Because I get what you're saying. There's like, you're not trying to throw any shade at your father.
It's I don't know that he knows that he was that way.
They're like conditions, you know. I always think back, like my parents tried the best they could. Yeah. You know, I talked about what happened in my childhood. Yeah. You know, I wonder, I'm like, man, I trust my parents a lot. Like, why didn't I tell them? There's some reason that I didn't, like, maybe I felt, because it felt wrong. Yeah. I felt like I was going to get in trouble. Yeah. I knew, thinking back, like they would not have gotten mad at me for that. They would have probably like burned the house down. You know what I'm saying? But like, I didn't tell them. Yeah. And I carried that. And so that makes me think about my relationship with my daughter. Okay, well, God forbid she ever faces something like that. I want her to tell me. Yeah. Like, know that I can go to dad. There's a reason I didn't tell them. So it just kind of makes you like pick things apart. Not them necessarily, but they're parenting with the tools that they have. And that comes from someone before them and before them, right? Yeah. So all we're doing is trying to break certain chains. It doesn't make them bad parents. We're just trying to be better, you know, and constantly improve upon. It's like personal growth, self-growth, like it's the same kind of concept, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that, I think it was like probably about 9 months into my recovery, and my dad came to visit it was just a couple days, and it was like this amazing moment where before I had all this anxiety, and I don't know why I had all this anxiety about him coming, but I don't remember what step I was on at that time, but I can just remember I had this moment of clarity of like, I don't need his acceptance anymore. And I swear him coming was amazing. And every time since I've spent with him over the last 8 years has been great. Like, I don't see him a lot, but, and I think because I broke that acceptance piece, right? Like, yeah. And so.
And I'm not here to speak for him, you know, like, but his intention from what you say, it
Agreed.
likely wasn't like, I'm going to like, this is going to be an issue my daughter has to deal with.
No.
In his mind, he's probably like, I'm doing this because I want her to push to be better.
Right.
Don't
I
settle
totally
like
agree.
with, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it comes from a good place.
Yeah.
We don't realize sometimes things coming from a good place, though,
But
can
I think
play out differently.
And I think in a good way, a positive way, we learn from those things. And so having to shape two teenage daughters' minds, it's like, you know, things that maybe didn't work for you in your childhood, that it gives you the ability to do something different, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely, my oldest daughter plays golf, and I was definitely a lot different on the golf course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like more of a cheerleader than a you know, push hard. So yeah, but like I said, childhood wasn't terrible though. I mean, it was
Pretty good.
It just I think the real hard part that really things changed for me is when they did go through their divorce. It was, like I said, it was like, how did you guys not last? Like, it didn't give me any hope for the future.
You're like, damn, I just got married and having a kid. Like, is this going to
what
crash and burn and whatever?
are you guys sure?
30 years? Yeah.
Yeah. That was I feel like it was a part of my life that kind of formed something there. There's definitely something there where it started looking at things different, I guess. Maybe not the most positive way. And you know, there was some hard times during that time too, where loved both my parents. So you have I was kind of the peacekeeper at that moment, right? Like, I don't think my brother and my dad had a great relationship at that time. They do now. And of course, my mom and dad didn't have a great relationship at that time. So I became the middleman kind of thing. Like, you know, I mean, I can remember having conversations with my mom being like, he's my dad. Like, I'm going to be there for him.
Yeah.
I love him. I don't know you guys are going through something, but
I can't choose sides.
I'm not going to choose sides. That was hard. And I believe it was the day that I gave birth to my oldest daughter. I was like, if you guys can't get along, don't come to the hospital. And
Yeah.
they got along ever since then.
Yeah, we need this to be smooth. This isn't about y'all.
I was like, don't show up if you're not going to get along. And so, but yeah, that like,
that was a huge turning point, like a catalyst in your life moving forward.
It was, yeah, I don't know. It just, it definitely, the whole acceptance piece really, I feel like really, messed with me, I guess you could say. You know, and you have one parent who is, kind of always there, and the one that's not necessarily always there. And I know my dad worked a lot, and my mom kind of followed us by working at the schools, and you know, you can never get in trouble. You can never get in trouble because your mom was always there.
Like watching.
But yeah, so like I said, childhood was not It was not terrible. I think it was just the kind of older that I got, just things morphed in different ways. Maybe didn't make the best decisions, or I like to say that I don't feel like I really made my own decisions until I got in recovery.
You know, you often hear a lot of the guests I've had on, you know, their parents got divorced earlier in their life. And it's interesting how like your perspective shifts. Yeah. You know, because you think it'd be easier once you're grown. Yeah. Because you're not like in the middle of it. But you still are in a way. And it's just depending on the season of life you're in. Like, it affects you in different ways. You know, I could say if my parents divorced today, like, it would break my heart. Yeah. But I also, like, been really intentional about growth and, but hey, you know what? But that's what they had to do. I still love them, and I'd be there for each of them the best way I could. Absolutely. It still affect me, though, in a weird way. Like, I don't want to think about it, you know. I'm not going to try speaking that into existence. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it does make you think, like, what if that happened now? But it's interesting because that obviously was a massive catalyst in your life moving forward. So.
I guess maybe possibly there was a little part that was like, maybe I was a little lost inside. You know what I mean? I was a little, wasn't necessarily old enough to make my, not saying old enough to make my own decisions. I was pregnant with a child, but, but like, yeah, I just got done going to college, and like, of course, you know, college life is crazy because you get to go on your own, and you don't
You're
have
an
your
athlete.
you don't have your parents to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So it just felt like that was a time in my life my world changed a little bit. My life shifted a little bit.
Home isn't just where you sleep. It's where your story settles between the noise, where your family laughs, grows, and becomes who they're meant to be. But if your foundation is shaky or the walls around you don't feel like peace, everything else feels off. That's where Jan Adams with Benchmark Realty comes in. She doesn't just help people buy and sell houses, she helps them find home. She's located right here in Middle Tennessee, and this is what she does every single day. Walks people through one of the biggest decisions of their life with honesty, patience, and heart. Whether you're starting fresh, expanding your family, or chasing that next dream, she'll make sure the space you land in reflects who you are and what you're building. Because in the relentless pursuit, your environment should echo your purpose, your home should breathe your values. Jan Adams with Benchmark Realty. You can call her at 615-969-5577 or email her at jansalestnhomes@gmail.com. Find home, live grounded, and pursue relentlessly. Before we go into this shift in your life, what would you say are any other things throughout childhood or college time that shifted your, I don't know, kind of gave you your worldview moving forward in life? Like anything significant?
So I dated a guy in college, pretty much most of my college career, I guess you could say. And, you know, I didn't really get into it. Again, didn't really get into it till I got into the recovery and realized, you know, just like going through those different relationships and those things that morphed how you are today kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a good situation. It was, I look back at some of those experiences and I go like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Was trying to get acceptance from somebody. He was a fraternity guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fraternity guy. And, you know, there was things that happened that in that relationship that probably shaped me as a woman, as a I think probably, I mean, just for example, all transparency, like you think that when you're with somebody and you can't really say that you were raped because you guys were together, right? And I still don't necessarily feel that it was, but like I can remember a night that we had gone to a party and basically we were pretty much blackout drunk. I don't remember leaving, but I remember waking up later into the night and we're having sex. I was blacked out. I don't remember anything.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time and for years, I didn't. And the way I woke up naked and didn't feel great. Sorry, that was hard. And I didn't really. I looked at it more like this is my fault kind of thing. I got blackout drunk. I don't remember it. Like, we're together. You know, like I shouldn't. Like, I didn't look at it as there was anything wrong with it. I guess until I got a little older and realized that wasn't okay. Like that wasn't okay. But there were other things in the relationship that were very toxic and not good. That I mean, nights that I was told to get out of the car and I walked home. have walked 2 miles across campus, back to campus from town. Stuff like that, I guess I put up with kind of thing. But I would just keep going back to try to get that acceptance, try to, why don't you love me?
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing to say, but it's like that, that was definitely a time in college that probably, was really hard. That was really, kind of an outer body experience where, definitely stuffed that one down. And didn't unpack it for a long time.
Yeah. And because you were in college and partying and, there was probably similar situations going around, like all that stuff was almost normalized.
Yeah. 100%.
Right. So you just kind of were like, oh, it's just part of the experience.
Yeah.
And then looking back, you're like, shit, that was not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said I still look at that and go, I think I maybe still hold a little bit of a blame for myself in that moment of that feeling. I know I shouldn't. I've definitely, it's definitely been something I have talked to a couple therapists about, because that was, I think, one of those, and having two teenage daughters, especially in this day and age, like having those conversations with them of, maybe that's where I go back to my childhood of, I don't necessarily feel like I had a lot of conversations with either one of my parents about stuff like this. Right. So now as a mother to 2 teenage daughters, I'm like, something like that happens to you, tell me.
Like that's the gold in it though.
Right. Like it's, you let me know, like, I'm not necessarily saying that, like we're going to go burn his house down.
Yeah.
But what I mean? I'm like, it's one of those, you go through something, you don't talk about it. I think probably when we were probably growing up, it was one of those things that you don't necessarily talk about. You stuff it down. You don't talk about it. Like, you put yourself in that situation. I don't ever want my kids to feel that way. Not to say my parents made me feel that way, but, I feel like my kids have gone, I haven't gone through anything bad, but they probably tell me way more than I even need to know, which I want.
Which is great.
That.
Yeah.
I'm their mother, but I should also have a somewhat of a friend thing where they should, no matter the situation, they should be able to tell me. So
trust.
I think that was probably a pivotal moment in my life also of where, I felt gross as a female. I felt just something didn't feel right.
But did you just kind of like, I guess moving forward, you just kind of eventually probably forgot about it in a way?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely stuffed it down.
And that's the thing is, I think, we haven't even got into a lot of the recovery stuff, but I think going through recovery and doing all the work on yourself, it's almost like, finding the necessity in things. Like you're able to look on that because now that can understand it from the place that you do, you're able to bring that to your girls.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, maybe had you not not played out the way they did, you probably never would have thought about telling them.
So I say, no matter what the hell that I went through, like it's made me a better mom.
Yeah.
It's made me a better person, but especially a better mom.
And that's like the cool part about it all. Like even though
100%.
those situations are not good.
Don't do what I did.
Yeah. But they're like, that's the gift in it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So, moving from that, going into getting out of college, obviously, learned quite a bit.
Yeah.
But all right, your parents, you're having a baby.
Yeah.
You're like, don't come.
And I was 24 years old and I go, I was not ready for a baby. I can't imagine having Brooke had a child at a very young age, her oldest daughter. And I'm like, I don't know how you did it, because I remember being 24 and going, I'm not ready for this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, oh God. And I think if I could look back, it's probably because some of the, just out of college, like, I've really only been an adult for, however many years. me and her dad, we got married. And probably actually I got pregnant before we got married. And, another one of those core memories I had was having a conversation with my dad. And I just remember my dad saying, you don't have to get married because you're pregnant. And I was like, but Dad, and it's probably one of those only times I was like, man, I wish I really should listen to my dad on that.
Yeah.
I wish I was listening to my dad on that.
Like he knew something wasn't right there.
You know, I think that we were just so young. We were so young, and like you don't have, like, now definitely you don't have to get married if you have a kid. It's a lot less frowned upon kind of thing. You know what I mean? I think we were really young. It probably didn't need to get married, and B, I don't know that we were probably obviously not the right people for each other. But you know, that was probably another pivotal moment in my life. Get married and have a baby, and I don't know how many months into it, but I'd found out that he basically had cheated on me most of that time, that I was pregnant and we were married. And I hate even saying that because, like, I very much respect her dad. I very much respect her dad today, you know, and throughout, especially the last 8-9 years, like, I've respected him. So, but the reason why I say that he cheated on me is because I believe that another moment in my life, right? Like another moment in my life where, you know, am I not good enough? Why am I not good enough? Why am I, not worth you not cheating on me with, kind of thing?
Yeah.
And then the people pleaser person that I am, we were going through divorce. He was with the woman that he was cheating on me with, and I became her friend because you're going to be around my child.
Yeah.
So we're going to be friends. And they didn't stay together, and her and I still were friends for a while after that. At the same time, I don't necessarily think there are parts of that through my life that I don't feel like I have many enemies. I don't feel like when it comes to problem solving and getting along with people, I don't hold grudges. I don't. When it comes to my kids, if you're gonna be around my kids, we're gonna be friends. Like we're gonna, to a point.
Yeah.
We're gonna. Yeah.
You were thinking about them in that, you know.
Yeah. At first it was not easy, but we.
Oh yeah, of course.
But we were good though. But I look back at that and I go, I just say we were really young, right? I tell my oldest daughter all the time, like, we were just really young.
Their father's not that same person.
Right, we're dumb. Oh, I said that I was going to go to my grave not telling her that her dad cheated on me until I guess it had happened again with the current wife he had. And then it was brought back to me that I was the one who cheated, and I was like, nope, not holding this one in any longer.
I'm going to be straight up about this.
What's crazy about that was I was like disappointed. I was disappointed because I like I said, I have a lot of respect for him. He's a really good dad to Georgia, and so when I had found that out, I was like, oh man, like,
you had hope.
I would have married her. Sure, his wife was amazing. Like,
yeah.
She cooked, clean, like. She helped raise my daughter for a long time. Yeah. So good friends with her. I'm good friends with her too.
That's good.
But yeah. So going back to when she was little, that was hard. Moved back in with my mom for a while because they were divorced. My parents were divorced. So I moved back in with my mom. And so that was a big change. That was a big change to to have all this freedom, and then you're back living with your mom for a while. So that was another. I mean, I'm grateful for her to let me do that, but that was hard, which then catapulted me into my next relationship that where I had Gracie, and him and I got married very quick. We were 100% polar opposites of each other. Like, so I don't, again, this relationship, see me trying to be nice. I'm gonna say, because no matter what,
be straight up.
I've 100% I've told him now, because I have respect for him now too. I did not back then. It was a very, very toxic relationship. He's a police officer. Will never date another police officer in my life. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. And, you know, I think that job brings a lot home. I think it brings a lot home. I think that having a job like that, you also carry some kind of persona, a different persona at work than you do at home, or whatever. And what I mean by that is, being a police officer, sometimes you have to be rough. You have to be an asshole. So have to be, you know what I mean? And it was rough. It was a rough, when I got pregnant with Gracie, my 13-year-old now, I lived with my mom for a while. We kind of separated for a while, and when I had her, we got back together, and it went real downhill real quick from there. Real quick. Real quick.
Would you say, like, so you said bringing it home, which I think there's a difference. Like, It's okay to bring things home and like talk about it and communicate, because I think home should be the space where, you know, I brought stuff home to my wife, but to share it with her and be like, man, this is this kind of day. And, you know, for the good and the bad, right?
Right.
But there's a difference in bringing it home with it bottled in.
Right.
Because you're still bringing it home, but when it's bottled in, you're taking that stuff out.
Right.
Rather than unpacking it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So from what you say, it sounds like he brought it home, but he didn't.
He didn't unpack it. He didn't unpack it. And I if I can remember right, I believe that there was maybe therapy, maybe we should, you know, and him and I went to therapy, for a few months, and it helped some. But ultimately it fell apart. But probably we got back together, and I think Gracie was around, she was not very old. She wasn't very old. Probably yearish age, and found out I was pregnant again, and was not happy. I was like, oh shit, you know, like I wasn't in a good place. Like, I mean, obviously we love our children, but I was not mentally, and the relationship was very strained. It was a rough time. I feel like that's kind of a little bit of the drinking started taking part of my life.
I was curious about that.
But not horrible, not to the degree it got. Like, when I say my life went 0 to 100 real quick, it did. Like after these events, and like, so to go from shit, I'm pregnant, this is not good. There was that little, like, that part that felt like I would, like, shit, I'm trapped, because if I have 2 children, like, I'm really not gonna want to leave this relationship. Yeah. And then there's that, but I'm excited because, okay, I'm pregnant, you know, like, and wasn't really feeling that, yay, I'm pregnant, until we went to the doctor and heard the heartbeat and everything, and then it was like, okay, this is happening. And it went a week later, I miscarried, and that mental roller coaster of like, crap, yay, oh God, you know that. Yeah. And I ended up having to have a DNC that they had to help the miscarriage along because it was a little bit further along. And so I didn't necessarily start drinking a lot then, but him and my relationship, I feel like really took a nosedive. Because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to, had a lot of feeling there, a lot of feelings going on with that. Didn't know what to feel. And I think some of it was the way he probably was raised too. It's like there wasn't, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, you know? And I remember it was after, I believe, my birthday dinner, and we had come home, and obviously both of us were drinking, so I was probably a little bit more emotional than I would be if I wasn't drinking. And I just remember being like, why are we not talking about it? And he's like, I just wish you'd shut that. You basically stopped talking. I never brought it up again. Stuffed it down. And I feel like that's probably where the drinking escalated. And it did for him also.
He slammed that door in your face, like, of the communication at all.
So that kind of, I hate to make it sound like that's when I decided I started surviving kind of thing, because I don't necessarily feel like, I feel like I probably emotionally started surviving. That makes sense. Like,
you're in survival mode.
Let's be careful what we say. Let's be careful how we act. You know what I mean? And so, I know that he started drinking pretty heavily around the time. And so I hadn't been working at the job that I'm at now for very long, the company. And when I would come home, it was like, I don't know who I'm coming home to. Like, and there are parts that were like, I hope if he's drunk, he's in the other room playing his game. So it's like, I don't have to deal with them. I had really I don't say I abandoned my family, but I had really cut out my family. Kind of, I think there was a little bit of embarrassment. There was a little, you know, if your mom, I'm sure you can say that about your mom's a cheerleader, your dad's a cheerleader. Like, you know, when you have a conversation with somebody who knows you the best, and based out of that little bit of conversation, they know exactly what's going on. So it was like there was a little bit of kind of pushed, especially my mom, away because she could see through it. Yeah, she'd know something was happening.
She kept her at a distance in order to keep her from.
Yeah. So I didn't really have any friends. My family lived down the road from me. Didn't really have family. So that was a really hard time in my life. Really hard. The day that I had actually left, I actually have it recorded, and I've yet to, this has been over 10 years ago, and I've yet to listen to it because I'm like, I won't. Something told me to turn my phone on and put it in my pocket. He was very drunk. I can actually say this time I wasn't drunk. And it's weird because I can actually say that, like, I didn't want to leave because I knew once I left that, like, I would be going to my mom's house and the jig would be up. Like, it'd be, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. You know, like, I'm gonna have to tell you what's going on.
Can't take it no more.
So, I was honestly left with those. If I don't leave, I mean, I remember his dad being there, like, one of you has to go. And I'm like, in my head going, if we don't, like, somebody's going to end up dead. Damn. It's probably going to be me. Like, so I took the kids and I left. And I remember that day, like it was yesterday. I walked around Target that night, just like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I didn't call anybody. What am I going to do? And I just remember my mom called me, and I picked up the phone crying, and like was in the bathroom with the kids, like, and I don't really remember I don't remember exactly what I said to her. It wasn't much, but she says, "Get over here now," and I was over there and never went back. Like, I ended up, it's weird that amount of relief I felt when I got to my mom's house, of just that, like,
Yeah.
Like,
That peace.
yeah. And it's crazy because during that time that I was at my mom's house, I didn't really drink. Stopped drinking. And it wasn't until I moved out on my own that it became a crutch, became a safety blanket. I think a lot of people drink to have a good time. I drank to just shove down every single emotion that I was going through.
Yeah. So how long were you at your mom's? Probably?
I was at my mom's for only a few months because it was one of those, like, I love my mom, but like I'm at this age, I need to be out on my own. I should be independent. Like, yeah. So I ended up getting an apartment. And that's kind of where the drinking started, was when I was going through my divorce. Like, it really started. Like, I mean, there was definitely some times.
So 0 to 100, pretty much.
And throughout the next 2-3 years, it went like it. There's a lot that happened. You know, there's a lot that, I mean, just the drinking in general, just a lot. But
we're gonna dive. We're gonna dive into this. Not to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
So you pretty much, you're at a space. You're at a place where you had a pretty good life, though. Went to college, a scholarship golf player, which is pretty cool. And you never would have thought, here you are, like, going through a second divorce with a second child.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, and then you move into an apartment and you're, because for the independence, but, this is a lot to carry, and you're trying to carry it alone and isolate yourself.
Yeah.
And then it just spirals.
Yeah. Yeah. Isolation is the biggest thing that was my biggest enemy.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to isolate with kids.
Yeah.
But I found a way.
And you had your mom, and you didn't have pretty much any friends at this point.
No, not really. The isolation became that moving into that apartment and having that bit of freedom, but also he was a police officer in the town that I lived in. So
how much freedom did you actually have?
So and I can be honest with you that my part in that one is a little bit of paranoia, probably a little paranoia during that, but I think there was also some stuff that getting a message that, like, knowing that I'm out at the pool is, what the hell?
As we going into this next part of your journey, you spoke about, this is kind of when the spiral began. You move into this apartment, you're that isolation, and I relate to that a little bit. I went through a 4-year relationship that wasn't the right one, before I moved to Murfreesboro. When I moved to Murfreesboro, though, like, my whole world had flipped upside down at this point. And so that was my thing, was just like,
there's just
isolation.
Like, right. And I can remember, how we make it in our brain, we make things okay. Like, I can remember coming home from work. I'd go leave work, pick the kids up, come home. And, I remember I would, like, as soon as I walked in, I'd grab a drink.
Yeah.
And it was like, mentally, I tell myself, like, this is a really long day. It was a hard day. I need a drink.
You justify it.
Or you justify it, or like, but why you have the bottle hidden in the back of the cupboard.
Yeah.
And it like, I got to the point where I was just hiding alcohol myself. I'm like, like, nobody else is living here. No other adult is here, and you're hiding it on yourself.
Yeah.
I'll look back and go, like, what the hell was I doing? But, like, the more I talk to people in recovery, the more I'm like, no, I really wasn't any different than a lot of people did. A lot of people did that.
Yeah.
But it progressively got worse, and bought a house not too long after that, and was in a relationship with a guy that, and this was on, let me go back. I'll go to that. That was when I was divorced. But, like, when I was going through my divorce, the drinking had, like, it had gotten worse. it hadn't got to the function alcoholic yet part, but like this is, like I said, mine was 0 to 100 within like a 3-year span where it just went, like I don't have any way out kind of thing. I went over that line and it was no coming back. But I can remember I had bought a house and the I don't know if necessarily paranoia or feeling like I was being watched, a little bit of both. It went from, I had this beautiful house, huge front porch. We were pretty far off the road, so I'd like leave all the blinds open, and I was like, well, if they're going to see inside, they can come and see inside kind of thing. And I say that because over a little bit of time, it became, I'd come in and shut the blinds. First thing I shut the blinds. I started getting the isolation and never opening the blinds and like, not talking to anybody, like get the kids asleep and then immediately drinking, and over and over and just feeling like just crap. And, I can remember still, it took like a year to get a divorce. And I remember probably, I don't say like probably 7-8 months into it, because like I hit it hard. I went hard at it. I started getting like my ankles started getting really swollen, and I've always pretty much been the same size. So when my ankles swell up, it was like swollen.
It's obvious.
Swollen to the fact that I can barely get my shoes on.
Dang.
And I'm like, something's wrong. Something's not right. Didn't feel well. Went to the doctor on my lunch break and flat out told them, I think I have a problem. I need you to figure out what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what exactly they did that day, but I just remember calling back the next day and saying, there's literally something wrong with me. Actually, I went in, I don't remember what they told me to do, but it was like basically going in and being like, and went the very next day during lunch, and I was like, you needed to take blood. Like, something is wrong. Like, I think I have a problem. And at this time, this fear, because here I'm still going through divorce, custody battle, but I know I need help.
Yeah.
Something was wrong. And so I remember they'd call me back a few hours after that, and my bilirubin, which is when you drink too much excessive alcohol, that's super
Affects your liver. Yeah.
Super high. It was like dangerously high. And they're like, well, you need to come over to the hospital today and have more tests ran. And so I did. And I had fatty liver. And that's how fast it went. I had fatty liver. And I just remember like that feeling at the hospital of like feeling like trash. Like feeling like this chick is an alcoholic, kind of like, you know what I mean? Just feeling like kind of
shame.
Yeah. And at that time I knew that I needed help, but at the same time, it was like just that feeling of feeling that shame and feeling like people are looking at me like you're kind of like you're trash kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It put me more in isolation. Yeah. So, and what happened with that is, I was, like I said, I was still married. Technically we're going through divorce. So when you're still married to somebody and have the same insurance, they get an explanation of benefits.
Oh.
So, he subpoenaed my records and, got to find out what I was there for. And, that did a lot to me. That did a lot in the, here I was trying to ask for help and I'm getting in trouble kind of thing. So
he put it all out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it catapulted it further. Like it really, we divorced and we got 50-50. But that, I feel like that, again, I'm doing it to myself. I needed help. But it definitely in my brain at the moment was like, you can't ask for help again. Like you can't do that again. Like what were you thinking? Yeah. Like, how dare you? Like, this is a private matter kind of thing. And so it really, I isolated more and I got worse.
Yeah. You would hope that, maybe someone would come talk to you and be like, hey, you okay?
Yeah.
Even amidst something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm thinking where I'm at now in my life, if I went through, was going through a divorce, I'd be like, hey, I saw this.
Yeah.
Can I help?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you don't want it to be used against you.
Yeah.
It's already something you've
agree.
hidden from everybody else.
Yeah. And I truly believe the things that him and I have gone through in the last several years, and I truly believe now that it would have handled a lot different.
Oh yeah.
100%. Like I feel like it wouldn't have been like that. You know what I mean? But I've also proven myself by getting help and being a functioning member of society. So I don't think that he would have it was more, to me, it felt like more of a tool. He used it as a tool.
Well, going through divorces, it brings like the worst out sometimes.
Oh yeah. But after that, we were divorced and I was dating somebody, and this was so this part of my life, him being part of my life, this guy, I don't talk about it much because it was so dysfunctional that it is one of those like, all right, when I'm going through my step work, we're going to touch on it, but then we're going to keep going. Like it was, he was sober, due to being in drug court. So, and I had a little bit of resentment for that, I think, because I was like, well, if I was being forced to stay sober, I'd be sober too, kind of thing. You know what I mean? That sounds terrible. But being somebody who is in active addiction, dating somebody who is sober was a very slippery slope.
Really?
And a very, there's a lot of, I won't say probably a lot of manipulation on my part. A lot of, because I mean, when I drank, I could manipulate the hell out of you. I didn't talk to many people because I was isolated, but with him, I'm sure I was an asshole, but
at least you can admit that.
But there was also he enabled the shit out of me. Enabled and the manipulation, but then he enabled. It was hard, and I think there was a little part of him. The further I got in, started getting into my actual journey of recovery, that like, I think he enjoyed me being in addiction because he could kind of take care of me and have a little bit of control over it.
Yeah.
And that was I can get into that in a minute, but during this time I lost my kids twice. The first time I actually had to do like EMDR over this, like EMDR, and I had to had a lot of resentment for a lot of people during this time because again, back into that, I know I have a problem. I think I have a problem. At this time, I'm like, I think I have a problem. My dad was in town and his wife, and I was at work. It was a Friday, and I was leaving, and I was going to pick the kids up, and we were going to go eat at a place in Columbia, Tennessee. And you ever have that moment where you're like, all of a sudden, like the hair in the back of your neck sticks up, and you just feel like something's wrong, like something feels like it's going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen, but something doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And again, youngest daughter's dad is a police officer at the time, and we go to this restaurant, and I can honestly say I definitely drank a lot around that time, but that night I had one beer at the restaurant. My dad and his wife had a couple beers. The next thing I'm finding out, this is a Friday, on Monday morning, I'm finding out I'm losing my kids, that there was emergency custody hearing. And I'm like, for what? This lady that knew my ex had called, and she went and did a sworn affidavit that I was drunk, and my purse fell and pills fell out of my purse, and that she had to call the cops, and like
Made this up?
I can honestly say that I did a lot of shit in my life, but that I did not do.
Wow.
Like, I remember the whole night. I remember it all. Like, we had left and went to get ice cream. So, like, I'm going, if you called the cops because I was drunk or high or whatever you thought I was, why didn't they come arrest me? Like, we only went a couple miles on the road to get ice cream
Monday.
So that was like shock, just shock. And I feel like it just made things way worse to lose at that time in my life. My biggest priority and probably my identity was being a mom.
Yeah.
So taking my identity away from me, stripping me of my identity was like, talk about really going into isolation.
Like a black
really
hole.
Oh God, yeah. And so, I was told to wear the scram device, where you wear the device around your ankle so you don't drink and you can prove you didn't drink and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll do it. I think I didn't have them for like, I'd see him maybe like one day a week, one night a week, or on the weekend, supervised by my mom. And it was difficult. It was really hard. But I had this ankle monitor, right? So I had this ankle monitor, so I couldn't drink, which was great for me, right? But to have my kids completely taken away was like miserable. The worst possible thing you could have done to me. And we go to court, and actually we went to the attorney's offices, not even court. We went to the attorney's offices. I think for like the question, I don't remember why we went there, but the next thing you know, I'm being told I can get this thing off my ankle and I can have my kids back. And I'm like, great. You know, even I remember my oldest daughter's dad being like, I knew she didn't have a problem. I think I remember somebody saying that, and I'm like, it was literally like that brain going, maybe I don't have a problem. Yeah. And I remember my attorney telling me, like, I think it was, you can drink, but you can't get in any trouble for 6 months, and basically then I'll be in the clear.
Mm. So you looked at it as like a challenge. Oh, you got some trouble?
But you know what's crazy is that after I left there, I was like, so I can go have this thing taken off my ankle. And I came up to Franklin, and when they were taking it off my ankle, I almost passed out. I was like sweating, almost passed out. And I feel like looking back, I'm like, that was a sign that like I was drunk within. I had my kids back that night. I was drunk pretty quick.
You didn't have any control without
hold me
that.
Back. And I was told basically that, I mean, I was kind of proved that I didn't have a problem, right? Like, see, you're good.
So you were depending on this thing to be that.
Fought this thing, right? Yeah. Like, I told you I can go 3 months without drinking. Oh, no, I was being forced to not drink. It was, I think that those devices are good for some things, but for me, it suppressed my addiction.
Yeah, it just masked the real problem.
Yeah. And then you know that when you haven't drank in a long time, and then you drink for the first time, you're probably going to drink the same amount that you drank before. So it was bad. So just a couple months into that, I got pulled over and get a DUI. So immediately lost my kids. Immediately. And man, it was bad. It was bad. I remember bits and pieces of that time, but I mean, when I say like I said, I had to keep keep well for 6 months. So that tells me, that shows you how fast it progressed.
You didn't even make it halfway.
No.
Yeah.
No. And then it went from, I lost my kids and I got 1 hour. At this point, I'll say this before I say that, is that at this point, my youngest daughter's dad, who was a police officer, like he was my biggest trigger.
Yeah.
I can identify that at the time he was my biggest trigger. And so I didn't really like to be around him and at the time. And we go to court and have lost my kids, and I get 1 hour a week supervised by the dads. So I get my 1 hour with her supervised by him.
God.
And it's crazy because it's like I have never been suicidal ever, even during that time. Now I thought about this the other day. I was thinking about how I felt during that time. And I can remember closing my eyes at night when I was in super active addiction and being like, I would never end my life. However, I would be okay if I didn't wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to drink, but I didn't know how to stop drinking.
Kind of wishing something would happen to you.
Yeah.
But not by your own hand.
So when I remember leaving or being at court and just being like, I have nothing to live for. I literally have nothing to live for. And they had ordered me to go to rehab. And I think I had went to rehab for like, the minimal time that they would go in, and I knew obviously I had a problem, but like I did not take it serious. I feel like I didn't take it serious. Didn't feel like I had a whole lot to live for. Didn't think I'd ever get my kids back. Didn't like. It was just, and when I got out of rehab, like I say that my ex was my number one trigger. It's not his fault that he was my number one trigger, but he was my number one trigger. And so I get out of that time and then go see my child for that 1 hour. And I was drinking pretty quick after that. Because,
after rehab?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like.
Straight back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. Like didn't really feel like I learned a whole lot. My life felt very empty because I didn't have my kids. And like I said, they were my identity.
Were you still in the relationship that was enabling you?
Yeah.
Oh, so that didn't help.
It was really bad. It was bad.
A lot of times coming out of rehab, you see people that go back in.
Yeah.
A lot of times, from what I've seen, is because they're coming home to people that enable them.
Yeah. It was. And it was, so not that particular time, but like a few months later, I was like, I went back to rehab. But this time I was like, I don't remember what happened right before that time, but I went ahead and just was like, I need to go to rehab. I don't remember what event happened before then. But either way, end up going to rehab for 30 days. And that is, yes, when I got home, when I left, that enabling was like, I was trying to be very serious about it. Like after I got off of work, I need to go to outpatient classes or whatever. And then the days I don't have them, I really need to go to a meeting. And it was like, are you going to go to a meeting tonight? I need to go to a meeting tonight, and I stopped doing that a little bit. So, like I didn't stick with the people who had a lot of time. I stuck with people who I was in treatment with. And I learned from that because like when one person starts going down, that there can be a whole trail of people that go down with it kind of thing. But yeah, so that, and during this time, I'm getting 1 hour a week with my kids, and it was hard. It was really hard. And my oldest daughter, actually, her dad was living in East Tennessee. So like she was 3 hours away. So when I get to go see her, I would drive to Cookeville and meet him for that hour. And it was just hard. It was really hard. But at the same time, I knew I did this to myself. I don't know that I ever really felt bad for myself, I guess you could say. Like, there was probably a little part of me. I don't think I was ever mad at my oldest daughter's dad. I'd always felt that he did what was best.
Yeah.
For Georgia. And I'm not saying that my youngest daughter's dad didn't do that, because I truly believe now, I look back and say I needed my kids taken away from me.
Yeah.
I was a damn disaster.
Yeah.
Like, I did not need to have my kids. But I felt like, not only do you not need to have your kids, but you're trash. You know what I mean? Like, I never got that, I don't think, from my oldest daughter's dad. I always felt like he really wanted me to get my act together so I could have Georgia back in my life. He knew that she needed me.
Yeah.
You know, I needed her. So
but also she was safer at a little bit of a distance.
Yeah. So the final time that I went to treatment, it was remember the eclipse back in 2000, was it 18?
Yes.
2017.
17, yep, I remember that.
Was at work. Was not okay at this point, a functioning alcoholic. And I thankfully had some really, really good bosses who knew this was not me. Like, you need help. You know, firing you is not going to be what helps you, but they were like, you need to leave. I left, and I remember one of my managers had grabbed my stuff and probably saw that I had something in my purse and was like, you need to throw it away, not on the premises, but you need to leave. And so, I mean, I remember going home and being like, I literally have lost everything. I've lost everything. I didn't lose my job yet. I didn't lose my job, but
you were on the cusp.
I literally was losing everything. So I went back to this person's house that I was dating, and I literally drank myself almost to death. And over the next 16 hours, and I had nothing to live for. I literally had nothing to live for. But I remember I had this moment, and I mean, I was probably blackout drunk, but I was still. It's weird that when you have that, but you can remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had this moment, and I was like, I can only think it's probably God that was like, do you really want your daughters to bury you? Like, my mom died of alcoholism. Do you really want that? And it's like, it was another moment. I need help.
And would you say this is when enough was enough? Mm-hmm. This is the big turning point.
That was finally you either get up, get help, or you die. I knew I was going to die. That I knew that if I didn't do something, that I would have. I still say I was gray. I had a 0.3 something blood alcohol level when I got treatment, and that was 4 hours after my last drink. When it comes to your kid, it's like,
you do anything.
I want you to tell me everything, but if this happens, they might be dead.
Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, I burned down entire cities for my daughter.
100%. 100%.
You know, there'd be it'd just be pure rage, and maybe that's not the right thing to say, but I mean.
No, I think, but you see those on TikTok, the moms that are like, if you're, would you kill for your kid? And people are like, well, no, mom, hell yeah, I would. I'm like, I fall on that side. I would smile in my mugshot for sure.
I just don't. I don't think I could ever have a conversation with somebody that says they wouldn't.
No, right, exactly.
I look at my daughter and I just get emotional by her presence. Yeah. You know, I just look into her eyes and I'm like, oh my god.
Especially daughters.
Oh my god.
The older my kids get, the more you just worry about them. You worry. Yeah. You were there's just, that's why I'm so open with them about
everything,
because I'm like, if they're ever date raped or something ever happened, like,
talk about it.
We have to go to another state to do something about it. I'll take you.
Yeah, whatever needs to be done.
If you need to be on birth control, please tell me.
Yeah, we'll get you squared away.
Get you squared. I mean, and the good thing is they know.
Yeah.
They can literally tell me anything.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, and you've built that.
Yeah.
And like that's something we'll get to later in it. It's like, considering all this stuff and you being, only having so much visitation, because I'm curious about how that shaped y'all's relationship. Yeah. Obviously, sounds like you're all a pretty solid relationship now. Yeah. But you've been honest. So, moving forward, I forget where you were at when we cut off, because you were at your turning point. You know, this is the final blow. Like, all right, I really got to take this.
Die.
Okay.
Gonna die. I went into rehab again. This is literally, like I said, 0 to 100. So this is my third time in a calendar year that I had gone to rehab. And I just remember being like so obviously very drunk going in there, but like I remember everything. I remember to have that high of a blood alcohol content, and it was like I said, it was like 0.3 something, and I'm like, God, like
insane.
And I remember I went, and it was Cumberland Heights here, and I've always said great things about them because they never made me feel like, oh, you're back again. It was like, come on, we're gonna get it this time. And because I had gone to the same place, I had some really good people there that were like, that helped, like really pushed me. I remember I walked into my first counseling session. I was not even there 24 hours, so I was still definitely drunk on whatever medication, Valium, that they had me take to come down from it. And the lady that I had as my, I guess you consider your counselor, the person who, she said, "What the F are you doing back here?" And she goes, "Sit down." And she became one of the people in my story that just like believed in me, that helped, that did wonders for me. You said
that this was, at this point, it became less about getting clean, but learning how to live.
Correct. To me at that time, I was like, I will never get my kids back. However, I don't want my kids to bury me because I'm.
Wow. You need to get to that point.
Like, I mean, I had hit rock bottom. And I always tell any sponsee that I've had, like, you think that's your rock bottom? It can go further. Mm-hmm. You can take it further. Trust me. There's always another bottom. Yeah. And that was 100% my bottom. And like, to this day, I tell myself, like, if you ever drink again, you're going to be dead or in jail. Like, you're like, there's no option, And so, I was in this treatment center for a couple weeks, and I remember, when anybody who's been in sober or whatever in rehab, they'll ask you daily, how are you feeling? How's your mental? How's your blah blah blah? And they'll ask you, and this is how our healthcare works, is based on those answers or how much your insurance is going to cover of you being there. So like, the sad thing is you need to go to treatment drunk or high. If you're not, they're probably only going to let you stay there for a couple of days. Well, I definitely checked the box of being drunk there. Yeah. But I told myself this time, like, if they need to put me on antidepressants, anxiety medication, whatever they need to put me on, I'm not going to worry about it being brought up in some court deposition or held against me. I'm going in here and I need to get my shit together. Yeah. I'm going to, and every day that they brought it through, I was 100% honest. I'm depressed today. Like, I hate life. I have no hope. But I don't want to die. So I did that every day, and like, per insurance, they were like, well, we can cover like 16 days, something like that. And I'm like, that's not enough. That's definitely not enough. And so they started to talk with me about when I get out to go to a Stillwaters, which is like a very, very like 30 days, 30 to now they have it for like a year, but like 30 days of like intense therapy. Like you don't leave the house. You get to talk to your family members once a week. It sounded terrible to me, but I knew that if I went home in 2 weeks, nothing was going to change.
Yeah.
And I remember the guy that I dated came up there, and why he was in the therapy session with me, I don't even remember. But this counselor that I had, she was like, we need to figure out how to get you into that. Cause it was like $8,000. I didn't have $8,000. We need to figure it out. So, can you ask somebody if they can lend you the money, or we can try possibly get you a scholarship for some of it? And I'm like, I don't know, but I need to go. I gotta go. And, I remember the guy looked at me, he goes, so you're not going to be home? You're not going to be back? Like, you're going to go to this? Like, he was asking me these questions, like, so you're not going to be back this week? And she asked him to step out. And she asked him to step out, and she looked at me, and he's like, he is sabotaging you.
Mm.
He wants you to come. You're not, she goes, you're going to be drunk in a day. You'll be drunk in a day, Kristen. And I was like, okay. And so, I don't remember if she brought him back in, but either way, I was like, we're going to do this. So I ended up staying there for like 22 days before I went onto this place. And I took a chance because, I was on like day 20 and then have a bed till day 22. And this place was like $1,500 a day. And if insurance didn't cover it, then I'd be on the hook for that. And I said, let's roll the dice, because I'm not leaving. I'm not going home and then going back. Like, we're staying here. I'm taking a chance. And I had the minister that was there, that was I guess you could call him the minister of the church there. He played a big part in my story too, because he really got into the dad stuff with me, and the grief of the miscarriage, and like had like one-on-ones with me to like, it's okay. Like, this is grief, Kristen. Like, this happened in your life and you need to recognize it. And the two of them helped me get a scholarship for at least half of it, and helped me get on like because you were paying up front. When I went up to the financial aid, he was like, they're going to do payments. We're going to let you do payments.
Sweet.
So like, I had these people who are just like, that saw value in me. That loved me when I couldn't love myself. And that knew that I could do better things.
It's like they have to, I'm sure those options are there, but they have to be very careful. Right. Because if they just gave everybody the option to do payments and this and that, well then the unfortunately that probably wouldn't survive. Yeah. They have to see you. Yeah. They really have to judge hard in a way.
They saw like I was there 3 times in a year. So I think over that time they saw that, okay, she's officially hit her bottom and she really wants help. She really wants help this time.
What I've observed from your story, and I think is really cool about this point in it, is that, sharing like everything, your identity was in everybody else and your kids and what everybody else thought. It was constantly like external. And this forced you in a place where it was like, no, this is about me. Yeah. You finally got to a place where it was about you. And that's what was obvious to you sharing your story with me.
That's why I always say that like, you're selfish in your addiction and then you're selfish in your recovery, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're selfish for a totally different reason when you're in an active addiction. But then when you're in recovery, you have to be selfish if you want to get better. It's the really whole, you got to take care of yourself before you take care of anybody else.
I got chills thinking about it, though, because I'm like, damn, like that, what a crazy turning point. And that was obvious to them as well.
And that was literally the first time I'd ever made my own choice. It really was. It was like, that was I'm doing this. No matter, even if I don't get a scholarship, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. Like, I'm going. And that relationship didn't end yet, but I went to this 30-day treatment center, and it was intense. It was like, it was intense. It was like a little boot camp for drug addicts and alcoholics. I mean, you didn't go. The only place you got to go was in the little van down to the a meeting, pretty much every night. And other than that, you were just, that's all. Like, you were in intense therapy, and you were in front of people and with people all the time. And I remember I found, like, at this time, I would get up in the morning. From somebody who was not a morning person, I would get up because we would have to start our class, I guess you could say, at like 6:30. I would get up at 5, go sit out back of this beautiful place. Wasn't very big. It was a house, like a big house. And they had this little pond out back, and it was really quiet. It was quiet. I'd sit back there and write or color or just time for myself. And the exact same day, same time, how to say day, exact same time, every single day, a crane, I think it was a crane, come down, touch the water, and go back up. I swear to God, it was the most peaceful, coolest moment, like, every day. It was just, that's, I think, when I started to feel the spirituality and the presence that, like, this is not a coincidence that this thing comes down and touches the water and flies. You know what I mean? It was like that moment of, like, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be in this moment. I might not know why. I might not know. You know what I mean? It was just, I'm supposed to be where I'm at. And so at this time, it was hard. It was hard, but I had a counselor there too, different one, who played a huge part in my life and was super brutally honest with me. And
real quick,
yeah, go ahead.
I think it's cool that you highlighted the crane or heron or whatever it was coming down, because it's something.
It probably was a heron.
Yeah, well, my buddy has a cool thing about
something
heron.
Huge.
Yeah, it's something important, and I have to look back at it. I have a friend that talks about the heron and a really cool meaning behind it. I'll bring it back up and tell you. Anyways, I think it's cool that you really took notice of that, because you don't know why. Why is the heron touching the water there? Yeah. You don't even know. Like, at the end of the day, it's not really about that. It's just that forced you to be present.
Yeah.
And
in that moment.
And you remember that.
And I wasn't going to miss it.
Yeah.
Every day.
And that was a highlight to you. I just think that's really cool. So I wanted to bring that up. But thanks for.
It makes you realize that, like, if you just slow down, you'll start seeing things like that. I think even today, we do these fast pace, and we sometimes can miss those, something really small like that really means a lot.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, when my mom was my power of attorney while I was at this place. Like, so make sure I didn't lose my job. I would get all the proper stuff signed off so I can continue to be out on, like, a short-term disability. And I'm grateful for my job for that, to have that kind of, not many companies have where you can go out on a disability to get your shit together.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of places, a lot of people I pass in these times in treatment that were like, I had to quit my job, or I got fired. Like, I had the opportunity to not worry about my job and to go get help. And I remember my counselor, I was sitting out on the little dock outside. I was sitting out in the little dock. It was like during one of our breaks. And she comes out and she's like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. Like, she goes, I just talked to your mom. And I talked to your boyfriend. And I was like, okay. He's been asked not to call again. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, I just want you to know, because he will not be calling to talk to you. You're welcome to call him on your few calls on the weekend. He had called to tell her that my job, I would be fired if I didn't get back within a few days.
And, like, how would he know that?
Right. And he had this whole elaborate story. So instead of coming and asking me, she directly calls my mom and says, is this true? My mom's like, my mom, who says no cuss words, was like, hell no. No, I am her power of attorney. I would know that is not happening. He has no authority to talk to them. So when she told me that, that was it for me. That was like, wow.
He saw himself losing control of the situation.
Yeah.
He saw you getting your shit together, and he knew he was losing control. It freaked him out.
Yeah. So, and you know, during that time that I was in, I was there for a month, and there was a big turning point in my youngest daughter, me and her dad's relationship. He brought her up there every weekend, and I was so grateful. I mean, of course, my oldest daughter was 3 hours away, but like my mom was able to go see her. So like, whether I knew it or not, they saw something in me. They saw I was trying. So like it meant, I have pictures from when my daughter came and saw me, and like it meant the absolute world to me. So our relationship changed a lot as far as like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, not like I'm going to kiss your ass because you brought her up here to me, but it was like, you have no idea like how much that like just helped me keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it really helped me, get it together.
Yeah.
So in order for me to get the scholarship to go to this place, I had to agree to then go to sober living after. And at the time I was like, nope, I'm gonna listen to him. That's what I got to do.
Yeah.
And, I think I had said like, I'll go anywhere. I don't want to go to Murfreesboro. I don't know why I said I'm going to go anywhere but Murfreesboro. I ended up in Murfreesboro.
Really?
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I ended up going.
You know Matt Culp?
Yes. I know that, yes, my brain is Flint. I think he said Culp from, I know Matt Culp.
Yeah. He owns a facility
I think he owns a few.
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Cool guy.
He's been on here, and I'm now producing his podcast.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. He just gave me the reins on it.
Awesome.
So I figured you knew who he was.
Yeah.
Brooke knew who he was.
That was the best decision I made.
Yeah.
Was to go to Murfreesboro. Like, just the amount of people there in all ages that were so welcoming to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and you know, I try to tell whoever that I know is struggling, like sober living wasn't for me. For me, it was amazing. I needed it. I needed that structure. I know it was people, it's like, got to sign in, sign out. Like I needed that.
I think that's like the final.
I needed to make my bed. I needed to be told where I can and can't go. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I needed that.
He was saying that's like the last measure for people a lot of times, you know, but it's also like I needed that structure because I forgot how to live. Yeah.
I forgot like what it was like to just do things. And it also gave me that like we're like the lady who ran the house, she ran it from afar, but you knew she'd show up. But she was amazing. She was hard on us, but she wanted everyone to do well. And so she allowed me to have my youngest daughter at the house on the weekends. And so I started having her stay overnight, like most of the weekends. And what I liked about that is I didn't get her during the weeks. I didn't need that. Yeah. I needed, like, as much as I would love to just let me have my kids back. Like, I knew that would not help me. I need to take care of myself before I can take care of my kids. And yeah. And it's time I got 4 hours with my oldest daughter on the weekends. So I would drive to Cookeville and go see her for a few hours and drive back. And yeah.
So cool. And, you know, I just love it. This is so uplifting. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of work being done, you know, but what I love about it too is even with your youngest daughter's father, like him, you know, putting in the time to make sure she was with you, like
Yeah.
despite the
There's
whatever
like the
in
shift,
y'all's
right?
relationship.
Like there is,
But they
this,
can feel that.
yeah,
I think like you being intentional about that work and it being serious, like
yeah,
people can feel that energy. They saw that light in you, and I think that's such a beautiful thing.
yeah.
That,
I can remember like making my my amends to both of them was like, I don't know how this is gonna go, and then them like kind of apologizing back, like, no, we're just glad you're okay. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like
you
it was
expected
like
a lot more.
such a that was such a powerful moment in my recovery of but just there's been just several things in my recovery but so I started to get my youngest daughter back quite a bit of time. Like it wasn't on paper. It wasn't on paper, but I mean I was getting her back a lot. So when I end up moving into my own place in Murfreesboro, I had her a lot. And you know, there was the question from not like, I guess people that are in recovery are like, where are you going to get your oldest daughter back? And it was, well, at the time, I believe she was like, and oh, she's in 12th grade now, but like 4th, 5th grade, I was like, she's doing really well there.
Yeah.
Like, so I had to be like, it's not fair for me to even fight to get her back when she's doing really well there. She's
Yeah.
doing well at school. Her dad's doing great with her. She's got a stepmom at the time that's doing great with her. That's just amazing with her. So like I still saw her like every other weekend, and like I started to get like more time with her, like she'd stay for the whole weekend, and so it's been great. Like that was great. I something I'd said when I kind of wrote my little bit of it intro to myself and stuff was just like, I hear so many, especially moms, just have zero hope when they come to their first meeting or first day clean, fresh out, whatever. They lose their kids and they have no hope. And like,
Yeah.
I felt that way too. Can never imagine my life 8 years ago, a little over 8 years ago, to the point where I'm at now. I could have never imagined that. So I'm always like, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't give up.
Because motherhood, a lot of your identity is in your children.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of it in a way, right?
And so that was kind of where I went with in recovery. I realized that my identity is not my children. Because, they ask you that question in the first step of narcotics. I don't know if you worked that program or what, but like, is there any life-altering event that would have you use again? And I can remember my sponsor said, but what if your child died? And I'm like, God. You asked me that, and I'm like, no, like, I really never want to feel that, but like, I can't, because what is that going to solve? So what me going and drinking again, was that going to solve? But like, you have to, I mean, I don't know what that thought, but like, all the things I've gone through within my recovery, it's just not worth me losing everything that I worked so hard to get back.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that I've gone through now that would ever want me to feel the way I did before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've had to like redefine yourself.
Yes,
outside of the past.
That's what I was going with.
Yeah.
Is I very much define myself as not even my job or anything like that. I define myself as how I was as a mom. I'm a mom. 2 kids. I'm a mom. Now, yes, I'm a mom of 2 kids, but I have my own identity. Like I have my own hopes and dreams and wants and and I have 2 kids. Yeah, I have 2 children, but they don't define me, right? They're going to go on and have their own little lives one day, and hope they'll be a little part of it and everything. But like, I think we can get too far defined into other people's lives, even our own children, that it's like, that that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So when they ask you that question, what if something happens to your child? Like, obviously I love my children more than my life itself. However, like, I can't allow it to, I can't allow my kids to be my whole life. You know what I mean? So that makes sense.
It's easy. Yeah. It's one of those things I've had to, people often define themselves by like their success they've had in business and money and these things. But like the truth is that everything can be stripped away from us in any moment.
Oh, 100%.
And I always ask myself, I'm like, yeah, well, they were successful at this, but what happens if that's all gone tomorrow?
Or they have regrets.
Who are they without everything else?
Yeah.
Who are you? And that's, I think it's really important to ask ourselves that. So you were kind of talking about like redefining yourself outside of your past.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what that looks like now. So
the last, I guess, 8 years or a little bit more of it have been, it's been a learning curve, like a relearn myself, or actually learn about myself, period.
Learning to love yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. Over this time, I was in a relationship on and off. And we talked about it earlier, that it was a very, I don't want to say it was a trauma bond, but I mean, because we didn't go through necessarily trauma together, but we were in recovery together. We met in the rooms. Like, it wasn't until after it was final that I was like, we didn't really even have anything in common. Like, why? Like, and going to therapy, the therapist is like, you only had recovery in common. You literally had nothing.
That happens a lot, don't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And, it was up and down. It was a very up and down relationship. But like, it was, it was like I had said, it was one of those things. It's important for me to continue to move forward. For me to continue to learn about myself, good and bad. I'm intentional with my life now. Like, I don't ever want to intentionally hurt someone. I don't ever want to have to apologize for, and I will apologize if I do something that I shouldn't have. So I'm intentional with people I have in my life. I'm intentional with my kids and those conversations and our relationships. And so it just got to a point where it was like I continued to feel like it was stunting my growth. Yeah. I mean, but I would continue to be in it. I would just go back and go back and go back. And it took this last time that we got back together, I had found out he cheated, and thank God he did, because it was just like light bulb went off, and I was like, that's enough.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me.
Y'all came together off of some very deeply traumatic stuff.
Yes.
Like that hooked you in your life for such a long time, right?
Yeah.
So you probably, I imagine, as you're redefining yourself, both are.
Yeah.
You're separating in all these ways, but you got this thing that's just like deeply embedded. Yeah. And of course, like maybe something extreme catalyst like him cheating makes it all click. Like, wow, shit, we're not right together anyways. It
was like obviously in the moment it was terrible, but it was like, oh, thank God. I wouldn't have snapped the hell out of it. It was not for that. But like, it was I've worked the steps a few times now. Like, I've gone through it. I've continued to, I feel like, grow from it. And it's really hard to date somebody who's in recovery because if they're not working the steps, or, they're not really talking to anybody, they're possibly in and out of have relapsed a couple of times. Like, I can't force you to grow. Yeah. I can't force you to do better. I can't force you to like, you know, there was that whole, well, my childhood, or, you know, things that happened with my dad. I'm not me, but him, like things that happened with my dad and things that happened here. And I'm like, you're the only one who can get past it. I can't help you get past it. Like, you have to do the work.
Yeah.
And one of the things that would drive me insane was like, I do believe in a God, and I do believe God puts us through good and bad, and it's for a reason. But there was that whole, like, I'd be like, you need to, what are you going to do about it? And he'd be like, I give it to God. I'm like, but you have to put some effort for God to take it, you know? And it was like, you know, like one of those.
Faith without works is dead, you know, like
right. So
you're not doing action.
It was always an excuse. And he had a couple daughters that were my daughter's ages. And there wasn't much action to get them back still to this day. And that was really hard for me, for somebody who like worked my ass off to get, like, my youngest is with me like 90% of the time now. Yeah. And my oldest she comes every other weekend. She drives and stuff now, and she's going to be going to college. She's moving back in. She's going to be moving in with me after she graduates high school next summer. So
where's she going to school at?
She's going to go to Columbia State and do the vet tech program.
Sweet.
And then she wants to further education. But, like, so these are all things that, like, you know, that were, thank God that he cheated on me, like, because I just, like, it wasn't a good role model for my kids. And, like, you know, I don't know, I just didn't see it. I didn't, this wasn't, I guess I wanted, if I was going to be in a relationship, I wanted my teenage daughters who are going to be picking a boyfriend at some point, or girlfriend, whatever. But I wanted them to, like, this is how I'm supposed to be treated. I have a stepdad who is a unicorn. He's amazing. And, like, the way he treats my mom is like, there's nothing like that out there, right? Like, that's in my brain, dating this guy. Like, I can't do any better. So, you know what? That's kind of how I kind of looked at that. Wasn't a great way to look at it, but when that event happened and he cheated on me, I was like, I deserve better. Yeah, my kids deserve better.
And you see your stepfather, like, that example is there.
Yeah, so it was like very important for me to have that conversation with my kids immediately. That I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. This is what happened. Here's, you know, I know I've had part over these last several years, but, like, he will not be in our lives anymore. You know, my kids were like, good. Like, they were like, I'm like, you could have told me that, you know what I mean? Yeah. They cause they just want me to be happy. But was important for me to tell them, there's nothing that I did or could have done for him not to cheat on me. Yeah. It is not my fault that he did this. Yeah. Now, you know, like, maybe other things in a relationship or some things are my fault, but, like, I need them to know that, like, that they should be valued more. They should be loved more. Like, I'm big on the whole, like, just break up with me before you do it. Like, you know, so, like, yeah, that was a positive catapult in my life. Yeah. 'Cause then it was, and I said, I am not going to date anybody until my kids go to college. And then I met the guy I'm with now, and he's a unicorn.
And then just, you know, it's right.
He doesn't even have children, and he is amazing with my kids. Just not that he didn't want to have children, but he didn't have any. And I ask him daily, are you sure you want to be around all this chaos?
But he's also probably, you know, given, you know, learning you and everything. Yeah. He's also probably learned how far you've come.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Who you turned into, right? And, going back to that last relationship, yeah, probably best he did do that because that forced that apart. Because we can just as easily become addicted to a person or the presence of them. Becomes
your drug.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That codependence.
Something you're used to.
Yeah.
Right.
So it all worked out how it was supposed to. Yeah. So how does that look now? Like, given that, when it comes to maybe friendships or even family or whatever, if people aren't right for your life, how do you go about like, hey, drawing that line and maybe ending it if you have to?
That for sure tightened up my boundaries. I've have a friendship that we had spoke about before we started on this earlier today that like, I guess I could still consider a friend, but like, it makes me sad that you would talk pretty much every day. Now we haven't talked in months. But the situation, what happened, like, I don't feel like I owe you. Like it was a bullshit situation that happened. Was mad because I went with a friend on a vacation, and I guess maybe because she didn't get to go. And I mean, like, I don't owe an explanation for that.
Yeah, we are adults.
And so it was that was a moment where, especially when I was dating the guy I'm with now, was like, my life is happy. I don't have room for bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
So if you don't bring anything good to my life, then you got to go. Yeah. Or we're going to have a conversation because it's just, I try to find definitely try to find the positives today, like, if a relationship doesn't serve me, then I don't need to have that relationship.
Yeah. It shouldn't disturb your peace. I mean, of course, if you're in a, there's going to be challenges, right? But you communicate, you work through those things together.
Yeah.
And actually communicate, not just yell about things or whatever. But if it actually breaks your peace in your life and how far you've come, then that should be a high indicator that something's off.
And that was important to me coming into this relationship, that like, like we'd said, we have to talk about your exes to get, some kind of understanding about each other. And him and I communicated a lot, even before we really started dating, but still today, like we communicate a lot. We spend a lot of time together, which I didn't have before. There was like no communication. Now it's like probably a lot of communication.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm grateful for that. Like, I think that's important. I mean, I think it's important. I think it's really important that to me, he went through similar things that I did during his relationship that led up to this one. So, it's nice because we're both so laid back. There's not a whole lot that really bothers us,
Yeah.
So, one of the things, I didn't know if I would talk about it today, but like, one of the things that happened this year, and to me, it can tell me like how much I've grown as a person in my recovery, is that a couple months ago, I actually got pregnant. 41 years old.
Whoa.
I'm pregnant. It's just crazy chaos and everything, but I had a miscarriage. And it was still hard. Still it was a lot, but there's never been my mom will ask like, is everything okay? Like, how are you guys together? And I'm like, we're actually a lot stronger because we've talked about it. Like went through the whole process together, and like didn't let it break us. It was more of a, let's talk about it. And I've never felt like I've had to not talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's almost like, I don't know, just from my perspective, I can't speak for you, but like from the outside looking in, like, and almost like this test of how far you've come.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to?
Yeah.
allow that to send you back to a place. And then to hear where you're at with your relationship because of it too. That's says so much about how far you come, because a lot of those things can tear people apart as well too. Yeah. But because the communication has made y'all stronger, and that's like a really mature and like that's signs of a lasting relationship is that when shit happens, does it strengthen the bond or deteriorate it? Right.
Right. Yeah, I think it definitely strengthened it. Like it's like we've always checked. I mean, probably even to this day, Sting is not as hard today as it was 2-3 months ago. But like, we both know that if there's something there, we talk about it, you know, like where, however many years, 10 years ago, it was like shoved down. Yeah. So, those are the kind of things that happen and you go like, why did this happen? Like, why did this happen? And like, I don't necessarily know why, I got on that roller coaster again, but I know that like I survived it. Yeah. I survived it. And like, especially in the relationship of making it stronger, like I now feel like I have I don't feel alone now. I feel like I have a little bit of a life partner. I'm sure you felt like that with your wife. Like, you go through something, and for so many years, you kind of, even if you were in a relationship, you kind of felt like you're by yourself. Oh yeah. But now it's like, there's nothing I'm gonna say that's gonna make him be like, like, why would you say that, or why would you do that? That I've had before. That it's like, I've always just been welcomed with open arms, and no matter how I feel, it's, that's an amazing place to be in. Yeah, it is. You said, going through hell has made you also like a better mother. Yeah. So how have you seen that transformation? When did you really start to hone in on that becoming obvious, I guess? And would you say your daughters, are proud of you? Oh, for sure. I have I think probably really started seeing it like probably like 2 years in, when I like really got my time back with them. Like a year, 2 years in, it's like really got time back with them. And I had really done some real healing and work on myself. And I realized how like intentional I was with my time. Yeah. Even if I only got 2 hours with you, I'm going to, I will drive wherever I need. I mean, I was driving to Cookville every other weekend, hour and a half there, hour and a half back to see my oldest. And I don't even care if it was for 10 minutes, I was going to go, So like, I appreciated the time I had with them. I enjoyed that time instead of just being like hustle, like moving around, hustle and bustle and like just life. I was like, all right, we're home. This is our time. Like it was a lot more intentional at the time. The older they've gotten, the more like those kids know everything about me, and I'm very transparent with them. I'm probably more transparent with them than I am with anybody else in my life. Like have always been. And that's because they can read me like a book. I mean, they know when something's good, bad, and ugly. They just, because I'm so honest with them. And I know I am for my youngest, but probably for both of them. I know that for my youngest, like I can honestly say I am her safe place. Yeah. So like, that alone is enough to make me not want to ever go drink again, because I'm sure you can remember as a kid being glad that you had whether it's a safe person, a safe place, like those are important developmental years where you need your safe place. Yeah. It might not always be pretty, might be straight chaos some days, but like I'm her safe place. And so, I couldn't always say that I was that. So, but I feel like, they know I love them. They know that I would do literally anything for them, but I've never felt like they've hidden anything from me. They've always been very honest with me, And I'm almost like a therapist to them. I will not tell anyone unless you want to harm yourself or someone else.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, of course.
They know that it's locked up.
Take care of them.
Tell me, yeah.
They can trust you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
If you could speak directly to a mother that was in the same place that you were, if you could speak to her right now, what would you say?
Do not give up.
Yeah.
It might look like there's no end in sight and that you have nothing to live for, but you do. Take a chance. Wait. What's this saying that you don't quit? Why don't quit before the miracle happens? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Like it might not look the same as mine, but there's always a chance you can, if you try and you push hard, you can get your kids back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may take longer, maybe shorter, maybe more difficult or less. Either way, like, you know, if there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
100%. We'll keep going. Is there anything else that you're wanting to touch on regarding this as far as, you know, the journey so far, anything that you can reflect on, anything that you've been through or are realizing today that you would like to share?
No, just other than like, you know, it was important to me. I know that myself and Brooke both had said, and we've still never done it. I know because both of us are so busy with stuff, but we want, and it may be something I talk to you about in the future that you would know, is like that moment that her and I both had the same judge that took our children away. And we were left in that moment with zero hope. We were left in that moment that we were trash, and that we don't deserve our children, don't deserve any help. I can imagine that there are several mothers or fathers, but most mothers in that moment that they possibly ended it that day, or they went further into addiction and died that way. But like that feeling of like, I just wish there was some kind of resource that picks up mothers from that time. Like you lose your kids, and then there's hope. You need help, but like, where's that help right there? You know what I mean? Like but I just remember us having a conversation early on that was like, we both felt that way. We both felt like we were just being tossed out.
Like probably just everything's crashing.
Yes. So
fast at once.
And it basically was like, we know your life's crashing. We know your life's in the gutter. Basically, that's all I felt. Basically, you're trash, you're crap mom. Good luck, but your kids are taken away. I don't know what's going to happen with you, but good luck to you. It was a very like hopeless, nothing to live for moment. So that's always something that's, I hope that I can do something. I can figure something out.
Yeah. Maybe there's some kind of like advocacy, like some program, or maybe there could be a program.
Yeah.
To where like there's someone waiting on the other side of that door at the courthouse to be like, hey, let me be here for you.
Yeah, because that'd
go a long way.
Yeah. You would be you'd be shocked. And there's been a few people that I feel like I've been able to help along the way.
Yeah.
You know, my youngest daughter's dad is still a police officer, and there's been a few times that he's sent some people to me to help.
That's cool.
That he didn't know how to help them during a call, and so that's been a cool thing.
Yeah.
So we get along well now. But yeah, that's something I didn't really think about it until you'd asked me to be on the podcast. I was like, that's something I still haven't done. I need to look into it.
Maybe there's something there. I might even like look into something and be like, hey.
I just think there's that it's weird how I could have that conversation with Brooke that it was like at a retreat, and we didn't know much about each other yet, but we had the same judge, had taken both of our kids away, and it was a female. I don't hold any resentment against her. She's doing her job.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a feeling of like something's definitely not okay right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna follow up in a couple months. But hey, what did you find out?
I'm gonna have to call Brooke and ask. We got to come up with something.
Yeah, Joe's putting the pressure on. We got homework.
No, I think it's important.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be great because there's probably so many mothers. I mean, elsewhere that if it doesn't matter to judge it, they're going through these things. You know, your stories it's proof that recovery is possible. Motherhood can be brought back around, and all these different things. It's proof that there's still hope. Always, right? I want to know how you would define, if you could define your story of recovery, how would you do so personally?
One of the things is the different amount of people that I've seen come in and out of the rooms. There is like, addiction can take down anybody, literally anybody, all walks of life and everything. So I think like never expected addiction to be on my journey in life ever. But like I'm beyond grateful that I went through it because it taught me to live. Like recovery, the definition of recovery for me is like, you know, you used to have to go to a meeting every single day, maybe twice a day, so you can not use. Like, I got to do this, so I'd not use. But now it's, I live a life of recovery and honesty to where I can live. Yeah. I can live now. Like, recovery has brought me my life. Like, I owe so much to so many people. There's been so many people along the road that have been integral in helping me live. And those people aren't even related to me. A lot of those people are not even people I just saw at you know, in rehab or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And there's especially working the Narcotics Anonymous program, there's been a lot of people who have passed. I think there were 12 girls that were in that extended care house that I was in, the one that I saw the heroin come down up. I think 5 out of those 12 have passed. Ugh. And they're all younger than me. Damn. So it's like you literally get one life. And like I tell my mom all the time, if I tragically die at a young age, not that young, but if I tragically die, I need you to make sure, let everyone know that I was still sober. Like it's important.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm not kidding. Yeah. I said, Mom, I'm not kidding. And she goes, I will. I go, I hope it don't ever happen to me. But I'm like, I did not work this hard in my life for somebody to be like, do you think she was drinking? Do you think
for that to be your legacy?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you don't want that to be how
my kids would make sure to let everyone know.
Yeah, just so y'all know.
Yeah,
I would too. I'd be on here
100%.
That's not going to happen. So let's not even approach that. You got a lot of time left, and I appreciate that, and I think one, I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
We just met as of today, but hearing your story, I'm very proud of how far you come, and one thing you just said, and that we keyed in on before we even recorded was like the gratitude. Yeah. For, the places you've been, right? Yeah. And something I reflect on almost daily is just, all throughout whatever struggle I've forced myself into typically, right? Whatever it's been is finding gratitude there. And that's true gratitude. And you have to go through difficulty, life-changing circumstances to have that.
Have to go through bad and enjoy the good.
Yeah. Especially to see it on that level. Yeah. To where you could be grateful for everything. And so I don't know. I just think it's cool to hear you talk about that because you seem very present and just grateful for every circumstance. There's your whole story, there's no feeling sorry for yourself. Yeah. You've taken ownership of every situation, which is huge. That says a lot about your character and you've grown from that.
Oh yeah. What we talked about it earlier too, is that, before we even started was like in the last year, it was important for me that when I felt like I went through some whenever it happened, when I was me and the 7-year relationship finally broke, I was immediately in therapy. Like the next Monday, I was like, all right, it's time. We got to do it. I got the best therapist. It was on like a BetterHelp. So it wasn't like I even had a choice. It was just, here's who your work is giving you.
Yeah.
And that is like, and to come to find out it's lady she's also in recovery.
Cool.
And like, it just, I don't feel like those are coincidences. Like, I just think that
nothing is.
Like, she has done so much for me too. So like, I know that when something's too much for me, I can get help. Yep. And I'm not afraid to ask for help.
Oh yeah.
Not afraid to ask for help now.
That's good. And your story is very encouraging to people going through this very similar things.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
100%.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm grateful for you too. This is kind of, I think when we're living our life in recovery and we're so many years down in it that we forget what it was like. And you kind of had me go back and kind of revisit it.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to do. That's neat to kind of gives you a little fire under your butt to figure out how to help after. I'm going to figure it out by the next time. We'll check in with you and let you know how.
And you still got a smile on your face, like telling it, right? I had someone tell me, they were like, Joe, and for your having to go back and revisit some hard shit, and it not being an issue. Yeah. Like you're able to like revisit it, but find the gold in it and tell that and have a smile on your face. It doesn't like throw you off course. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes revisiting these things can shoot people into a spiral. So
no, I've like I said, I've had some amazing people along the way that have made me be proud of your story.
Yeah.
Even if it's ugly, like if there's even if you're telling on yourself for something, like own it.
Yep.
So
110%.
Like I said, I had a sponsor, man. She'd get light into me on something, and I'd be like, "You're right."
Yep.
You're right.
You just got.
What was she say? What was your part? And I'm like, But that somebody who makes you be accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an important trait. So now, I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
This is my most important question. I ask everybody this. Kristen, what is your relentless pursuit?
Man, just to keep on living.
Yeah.
And I, you and I have talked a lot this whole time, and you've talked a little bit about how you've gotten to where you've gotten with this particular project and with other projects that you have going on in your life, and like, kind of makes me think about like, what am I passionate about now at this part of my life? I was you little different spots. Like, let me revisit that.
Yeah.
So it makes me want to revisit something like what we were talking about with the after. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just keep on helping people, and don't ever, just because no matter your age or what you've been through or anything, like keep on dreaming, keep on living.
Yeah. You can make things come alive.
Absolutely.
And you can have an impact at no matter what place you are in life. So
yeah.
Hey, well, we'll have to follow up. I'll have to see
100%.
like, hey, what have you thought of? Because I think it'd be really cool to see where you're at on these things. So heck yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
Of course.
And beautiful answer, by the way. So you're just going to keep on living and just, I don't know, you're very go with the flow too. Mm-hmm. So you're just going to keep flowing with it, with the river in the right direction you're supposed to be.
I feel like I haven't always been that way. So
yeah.
I think it's good though. I think recovery's given me that.
Hell yeah.
It has.
Well, I'm proud of you. And
thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Hey, you can move your remote, or not remote, mic. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Till next time. Sweet. This isn't just a podcast. This is my life's work. In a world full of noise, debate, filters, and artificial content, this platform is real. It's raw. It's human. Every episode, we dive deep into stories that matter. Pain, purpose, transformation. We're here to give people a voice, speak truth, and connect through something deeper than algorithms. We've already reached over 20 million views across all platforms, with an audience that is loyal, engaged, and passionate about this show because it speaks to the soul. If your business or brand believes in authenticity, if you value marketing through something that reflects your values and aligns with real impact, then this is your opportunity. Sponsorship isn't just support, it's fuel. It's how I keep this mission alive. It's how I continue to shine light on powerful, untold stories that need to be heard. If you want to reach people, not just through metrics, but through their hearts, their minds, and purpose, let's partner. Let's build something that matters.